Thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association.
Thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master.
And this is a very special verse that is part of the section that we will be studying and meditating upon for the next 4 weeks for this month. So this is a beautiful, beautiful prayer that's offered in the 6th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you.
Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody for the Bhagavat-Sravana class. Last week, the last month was an amazing Narsimha special series. Thank you, Venkata Prabhu, for starting this initiative of having a nice themed 4-5 week program where everyone is, even the speakers are kind of going in the same flow and we know what we're going to hear and coming to. Thank you so much. And the whole team, Mangalarti Mataji and Kaustubha Prabhu, such amazing classes. Thank you so much. This week onwards, we are starting the Vritrasura series, the controversial demon devotee, and we're going to, so many amazing lessons and learnings are going to come out of it. And to start it off, today we have a very special speaker with us, a very young and sweet and realized soul, Amarendra Prabhu. He is famous all over the world, invited everywhere for his talks and Krishna Katha. Recently, I was hearing his talk in Hindi at ISKCON Delhi, and I was so surprised. I thought he's based in America, so he's more of an English speaker, but his Hindi talk was so enthusiastic. Throughout the talk, most of the time his hands are up, and again, you can hear Hari Bols and Hare Krishnas throughout the talk. The enthusiasm he brings, along with his study and learning, so well put, so thoughtfully presented, so compassionately presented. You can hear the love in his voice. Thank you so much. He just finished a 3-hour seminar with Bhaktivedanta Manor about half an hour ago. And he still just took a glass of water, I see, and then he's ready to go again. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining and sharing your nectar with us. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
thank you so much, Karuna Gauranga Prabhu, for that introduction. Thank you, Venkatapat Prabhu. I had a very, very big smile on my face when His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj said, Venkatapat Prabhu, I miss you on that call. And I was smiling end to end. I was thinking, oh, Krishna, that is so sweet of Maharaj. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for starting this series and kindly inviting me. My obeisances to all the wonderful organizers of this program. Thank you for kindly inviting me and having me over for this. And other participants, thank you so much. Sunday morning, you have so many things to do, even in India. I see devotees joining in from India as well. So it's a Sunday evening. You can have so many other options to do, but still you have an hour to spend with us. Thank you so much. Very happy, very, very grateful. Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya. So recently I was hearing Her Grace Moola Prakriti Mataji, one very sweet and senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who's not on the planet anymore, but she was sharing, it was a recording of her very sweet memories of Srila Prabhupada. And she mentioned that once when she was coming to the temple after all day long outside on the street distributing books, Prabhupada looked outside the window and he saw her coming with books in her hand. And Prabhupada asked his personal servant, "Oh, seems like there's a devotee coming in. Can you just call her straight to my room?" And then Mula Prakriti Mataji was invited by the servant that Prabhupada wants to see you. So then when she came in, she was sitting close to the door, and Prabhupada said, "No, come close, sit close to the table. I want to talk to you." So as she came in close, Prabhupada said, "So, how was your day?" She said, "Well, Prabhupada, I had a long day. Doing book distribution and speaking and meeting and connecting, networking with devotees, with jivas who can be devotees, potential devotees." And Prabhupada said, "So what kind of people did you meet?" She said, "I spoke to students and I spoke to professors, I spoke to lawyers." And Prabhupada was like, More? Who else did you meet?" And she said, "I met people in general. I met housewives, I met other professionals." And Prabhupada said, "Go ahead, who else? He was so enthusiastic. And Prabhupada said, "So what did you tell them?" "So, well, Prabhupada, I told them that these books are the essence of all that you have to know. This is the ancient wisdom text from India." "And then what did they say?" asked Prabhupada. He was so enthusiastic to know what was happening in that conversation. And then she went on to say that, well, these were the questions that they had. Prabhupada said, "What did you answer? How did you answer? What did you say in response?" And she said, "Well, I quoted this and I quoted that." And Prabhupada said, "Very good. All your quotations are from Srimad Bhagavatam." And Prabhupada said, "Can you get the Bhagavatam here?" And she got the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada exactly opened up Canto 1, Chapter 3, Text 43, where the Srimad Bhagavatam says, "Krishna swadhamopagate dharmajnanadibisaha kalau nashtha drisham etas puran arka aduna udita," which basically means that when Krishna decided to depart from this world, along with him, all transcendental knowledge left. This world was bereft of any good qualities. It was devoid of all good qualities. And at that time, because Krishna had left, Krishna felt compassionate that I have to reappear to help the fallen conditioned souls in Kali Yuga. So therefore, as the sun, just like we see the moon sets and the sun rises. So Krishna is compared to the moon because he comes in the moon dynasty. So he's Krishna Chandra. So as the moon of Krishna's personality was setting, the sun of Srimad Bhagavatam was on the horizon. Srimad Bhagavatam rose. It was almost like the Krishna was appearing in another form, in the form of sound vibration, in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, to benedict everyone with transcendental direction and wisdom. So Srila Prabhupada said, "Look how beautifully Srimad Bhagavatam is marketing himself." And then Prabhupada smiled and he said, "When I used to be at the Radha Damodar temple, I used to read this verse profusely. I had so much taste in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. This verse, whenever I felt tired, this verse would enliven me, because Srimad Bhagavatam has said that this rising sun is none different from Krishna, and he's rising only out of compassion to remove all the darkness in the lives of the souls and to benedict them with that knowledge which will make them happy." So in this way, Prabhupada told Mula Prakriti Mataji, you should study Srimad Bhagavatam and you should inspire everyone to study Srimad Bhagavatam. So I really want to thank this Bhagavat-Sravana initiative, because it's in line with what Prabhupada told Mula Prakriti Mataji, that if we come together, read together, hear together, we develop affection for each other and we go back home, back to Godhead together. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj would say that the devotees whom we are with at this moment, invariably those are the devotees we're going to cling on to, even in the spiritual world. So we better get along with them right now than to have problems there and come back. So it's a very nice initiative, even during the lockdown, where we are meeting virtual, we're having virtual conferencing, we're meeting across different parts of the country and different parts of the world, but with that commonality of keeping Srimad Bhagavatam in the center. So I've been asked to speak on the 6th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 9, which is entitled The Appearance of Vritrasur. And I have been offered about 10 verses from text 24 to text 35. So that's about 11, 12 verses. But I must really say that these verses are very deep and profound, so I won't be able to cover all of them, but I'll try my bit to just give the essence of what's happening in this section. This whole canto, this whole 6th volume of the Srimad Bhagavatam runs on a theme called Poshanam. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utaya manvantara ishanu katha nirodha muktim ashraya. These are the 10 different topics discussed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, of which the 6th canto deals with the topic called as Poshanam, or protection. This is that section where the devotees make mistakes and the Supreme Lord protects them. This is the common thread for this canto. The Lord not just protects them, he nourishes them and eventually offers himself to those devotees. This canto starts with the pastime of Ajamil, a devotee who makes a mistake, goes astray, and then the Supreme Lord attracts his heart through the Vishnu Dutas. After that, we see the story of Indra, where Indra is offending his guru Brihaspati, and Indra goes through so many ups and downs in this set of 11 chapters, where the story of Chitraketu Maharaj has been described with Vritrasura also. First, the story of Vritrasura has been described, who is the demon devotee, as we know, and then his past life as Chitraketu, the king Chitraketu, has also been described. So Indra makes, so to start with, the canto starts with Ajamil making mistakes, and the Supreme Lord gives him chances again and again and embraces him again. Then Indra makes mistakes, the Supreme Lord forgives him, protects him, embraces him, and nourishes him. Then we see Chitraketu Maharaj apparently makes a mistake, and the Supreme Lord again forgives him, protects him, nourishes him. And then the story of Vritrasura, etc. So this is the common theme. This is the invisible thread going through this chapter. We feel so much hope and we feel so much affection from the Supreme Lord. It's not like we make a mistake and Krishna burns us down to hell. Krishna is a very, very loving father. And the best example of that is that we make so many mistakes and Krishna continues to tolerate us. One time, His Holiness Bhakti Vishramb Madhav Maharaj was at the Radha Gopinath temple in Mumbai. And somebody asked him, Maharaj, how can we develop tolerance towards other devotees? And he smiled and he said, I must learn to tolerate others because Krishna tolerates me. You know, that's a very deep point. We make so many mistakes. We have made so many mistakes. We will make so many mistakes. But the Paramatma patiently follows us through from one body to another. Sometimes we have been Indras even. We have even been in the post of Brahma. And then we have fallen down to being human beings. And then again being Brahma, and again become a human being, and again become Brahma, and again become human being. When Krishna was talking to Rukmini in Dwarka, once as they were having a very beautiful romantic moment together, they were sitting and talking. And there was an ant which was trying to taste some sugar pieces on the floor. There was a sugar cube, and the ant was trying to take a bit to taste from that sugar cube. And Krishna looked at the ant and he smiled. So Rukmini asked Krishna, why are you smiling looking at this ant? And Krishna said, this ant has been Indra 28 times. And now again he has become an ant and he is spending all his energy to taste that sugar cube. So we've gone up and down. It's almost like an elevator. We've been up, we've gone down, we've gone up, we've gone down. Sometimes we've gone really down to hell. And sometimes we've gone up to Brahma and again come back. We have gone through all these motions, but Krishna never loses hope. He's always there with us as the super soul, waiting for that day when we will turn towards him. Krishna does not feel even once for a moment that I have given him 5 million chances and he still doesn't improve. Forget it. Let me invest my energy in something else. But no, Krishna still feels 5 million births he has wasted, but maybe today's the day he'll turn to me. So therefore, in that affectionate feeling that the Supreme Lord shares with the devotee, we can never reciprocate that level of love with Krishna. We are insignificant. Our love is insignificant completely infinitesimal. And that infinitesimal love, we share it with infinite things in this world. We have nothing to offer Krishna. And when we offer it to him too, it's because I want something from him, therefore I offer it to him. There's so much hidden, selfish, ulterior agendas behind our service to Krishna. But Krishna's love for us is ever increasing, qualitative and quantitative. It's infinite as far as quality and quantity are concerned. It's selfless, it's unconditional, it's uninterrupted, it's unmotivated. The more fallen we get, the more merciful Krishna gets. So it's almost a competition. Let's see who wins this competition. I'm going to try to fall down and make mistakes, and Krishna, you're going to try to uplift me. And Krishna always wins this battle, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, however fallen we may be, Krishna's loving embrace and Krishna's loving mercy goes beyond the extents of our fall down. So therefore, Krishna wants us to come back to him more than we want to go to him. This is why this whole canto is heart-wrenching. The Lord, who is full in 6 opulences in the 6th canto of Bhagavatam, is just waiting for the jivas to turn to him. The more mistakes we make, the more he loves us, the more is his compassion. His love is independent of our mistakes and not making mistakes. But the more we make mistakes, the more his heart melts in compassion that this person really needs me. But however, we don't push him to his extent of the final threshold of his mercy. So we try to be sincere. So in this section, very specifically, we see that the story runs from chapter 7 to 17, where chapter 7 to 13 describes the story of Vritrasur, the demon devotee, who's the hero of this discussion. And chapter 14 to 17, the remaining 5 chapters we see, talks about his past life. Now the history is something like this, that I'll just keep it very, very crisp, because we have a lot of ground to cover in less than 40 minutes from now. We have Brihaspati, the guru of Indra, enter the courtroom, the assembly of Indra's royal kingdom. And as Brihaspati enters, Indra is so absorbed in his own world, where the Apsaras are dancing and the Gandharvas are singing, that it's almost an offense to the spiritual master that he doesn't even pay attention to his guru. He disrespects and he fails to recognize his presence. As soon as Brihaspati leaves, Indra realizes that he has made a very severe offense of not even regarding the presence of his teacher. Twashta, a well-wishing superior of Indra, he offers his son, Vishwarup, who is going to be the sacrificial Brahmana, the priest, the Purohit, who's going to offer a yajna so that Indra can be free of this offense. Offense to the spiritual master is the worst offense we can think of. There are 2 kinds of offenses as far as we can commit to the spiritual master. One is called as Guru Tyagi, to completely reject a bona fide spiritual master after gaining so much from him. That's an offense. We have to be in gratitude. Whatever we speak, whatever we hear, whatever we write, whatever we know, whatever we breathe, live and practice, it's by the mercy, the tears, sweat and blood of our superiors. But when we use them as ladders, where we climb on top of their hard work and get the fruit of our success and now kick the ladder, that is the most dangerous, pathetic situation of spiritual crisis. We should always understand. Prabhupada also said, the disciple should always understand that he cannot make more advancement than his spiritual master. His spiritual master is more advanced at all times. So Guru Aparad is a severe offense. That's part 1, where we reject the spiritual master. The second is called Guru Bhogi, where we want to take over advantage of our spiritual master. We want to use the position of being the disciple of our guru to gain material gains and, let's say, to fulfill our inner desires. If I pose myself as the disciple of so-and-so guru, then I will get a lot of respect and I will get what I want. I can get my job done by saying that, do you know, I am the personal assistant of so-and-so. Oh, really? Oh, please come in. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Yeah, you better know that, you know. Sometimes we can use our position for our advantage, and there we are trying to misuse the position, take advantage of the guru. Have the guru say things that we want them to say. Sometimes we see that. We ask questions to our spiritual master, and when the spiritual master answers, we are not so quite convinced. We want to ask it again and again so that he finally speaks out what we want to hear. And then we can say, oh, I always thought that was right. Now my guru has confirmed. He's given me the permission. I can do it. So that is Guru Bhogi. We are neither Guru Tyagi. We neither want to be Guru Tyagi, where we reject the spiritual master out of lack of gratitude, or nor do we want to be Guru Bhogi, where we take the Guru to be a mere mortal and we take advantage of his position. We are not Guru Tyagi, not Guru Bhogi. We are Guru Das, the servant of our spiritual master. So Indra, because he makes this offense to his spiritual master, Twashta offers his son Vishwarup, a very celebrated, very educated, advanced Brahmana, who can perform a fire sacrifice to free Indra from this precarious offense. Now it's interesting that Vishwarup, the Brahmana who is in charge of performing this austere yajna, he agrees to help Indra in this process. But however, it's interesting that Vishwarup is related to the demigods from one side and the demons from the father side, one from the father side, one from the mother side. So he's related to the demigods, and at the same time related to the demons. And because the mother and the father both are dear to Vishwarup, the demons and the demigods both are dear to them. So Indra was not aware of this. Indra thought Vishwarup is going to perform a yajna just for his benefit. But a Brahmana is such a person who doesn't take sides. He's equally disposed to everyone. He takes sides with the whole world. Anjali sthani pushpani vasayanti karadvayam aho su manasam pritihi vama dakshinayo sama. When we have flowers, we hold flowers in our palms. The nature of the flowers is that the flowers want to share its fragrance with both hands. It doesn't think the left hand is a bad hand, the right hand is a good hand. So I'll give my flowers the fragrance of the flowers only to the right hand. So Anjali sthani pushpani vasayanti karadvayam. Just like fragrant, aromatic, scented flowers, they make both hands, both palms fragrant. Similarly, Brahmanas or great devotees of high caliber consciousness, they take sides with both camps. They are not biased with one side against the other. So Vishwarup, he was helping. He performed the austerity. So during the day, he would perform the austerity for Indra and the demigods. And during the night time, he would perform austerity for the demons. When Indra got to know this, he picked up his sword and that's all. The 3 heads of Vishwarup were cut. Indra was thinking in terms of my group, their group, friends and enemies. This kind of mindset is dangerous. It is described by the commentators on the Bhagavad-Gita. When Arjuna was speaking to Krishna, Arjuna asked Krishna, please take my chariot to that place where I can see my enemies. Krishna took the chariot in the middle of the battlefield. And when Arjuna asked Krishna, where are my enemies? Krishna pointed all through. He pointed in all directions. Well, that's a mistake, isn't it? The Kauravas are right there and the Pandavas are right here. But Krishna pointed out that the enemies were present all over. Why? Because the commentators to the Bhagavad Gita explain that the mentality to think that this is my enemy and this is my friend, that is our true enemy. When we think this is my camp, this is not my camp. This is my friend camp. This is my enemy camp. This is the Pandavas. These are the Kauravas. Well, that is the actual enemy. The proper understanding is Ayam nija paro veti gananam laghu chetasam udara charitanam tu vasudaiva kutumbakam. Narrow-minded thinking means this is mine and that is yours. And broad-minded thinking means everything belongs to Krishna. We also belong to him. Therefore, everything belongs to everyone. This is the property of our Father, right? So when Indra was thinking in terms of, oh, Vishwarup was supposed to perform the yajna for my camp, but he's performing during the daytime for my camp and during the nighttime for my opponent camp. He chopped Vishwarup's heads. Think about it. Indra has the offense to his spiritual master. Now the person who's helping him get out of that, Indra kills him. So now he has Guru Aparat, the offense to the spiritual master, and he has Brahma Hatya, which means the offense of killing a Brahmana. So Indra is wearing one crown over the other, one offensive crown over the other. Now what to do? He's getting all these offenses and reactions, and he's ready to take them, of course. But it's a dangerous situation to be in. Offenses are the worst thing we can commit. Offense means that which puts us off the fence of bhakti. Offense. So it throws us off the fence. Sometimes it's better if you can perform little bhakti and keep quiet. We will at least make advancement. Most of the times we fall from our standing, not because of lack of sadhana. We may be performing good sadhana, but we fall from our level of advancement in consciousness because of offensive words of criticism. What to speak of action like Indra? Indra is performing through action. There are three kinds of offenses. Offenses in the mind, offenses through words, and offense through action. And they progressively go more and more intense. So we should make sure, even if we have disagreements with someone, we can try to peacefully have a conversation. And if you think it's not working out, the other person is not going to take your word, then it's just better to keep that advice with ourselves. Why to throw in an extra roti when the other person is not hungry, right? Why give that advice when that other person is not going to respect? What we do is we try to push our thoughts, the other person repels, and then we start complaining to others. You know, I try to help him, but he tries to, you know, call me names, and the whole relationship has got spoiled. This is happening because of the offensive mentality. So one great soul, one of my friends, he asked him, Maharaj, what is the easiest way to get Krishna? Maharaj said, hold your tongue and surrender. Just hold your tongue. Just make sure you don't offend and criticize anyone. His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu here in ISKCON Atlanta, when he received his Brahmin initiation from His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj at Washington, D.C. last year, when he was hearing the mantras from Maharaj, he asked Maharaj, is there an instruction that you would want to benedict me with? Maharaj said, I just have one thing to say. Don't criticize anyone. And Adi Gadadhar Prabhu said, yes, Maharaj, I'll not criticize anyone. Maharaj said, yes, don't criticize anyone and just spread the sweetness of Krishna consciousness around. That's all. That's all that we have to do. It's simple for the simple and difficult for the difficult. We make it complex by having, as Prabhupada says, meetings means we have resolutions, revolutions, dissolutions, and finally no solutions. This is the cycle we go in. So Indra, once he chopped off the heads of Vishwarup, he had another offense on his head. And Twashta, the father of Vishwarup, he was feeling, he was fuming actually, that I offered my son to be the priest for the yajna to nullify all the effects of your Guru Aparad, and you had the audacity to kill him. Now you see what I do. So Twashta has another fire sacrifice performed. And believe it or not, Sanskrit words are so, the compounds in Sanskrit are so interestingly composed that if you have mistakes in the pronunciation, the meaning changes. So Twashta chanted a mantra in the fire sacrifice to get someone out of that fire sacrifice who will consider Indra to be his enemy and kill Indra. So instead of saying Indra yasya shatru, Indra shatru, to see he who will see Indra as his enemy, he chanted it a little different, and it turned out to be Indrasya shatru, which means he who will appear from the forest, the fire sacrifice, whom Indra will see as his enemy. So it was so interesting. Twashta wanted this demon to come out who will go and kill Indra. But because of the mistake in the pronunciation, the demon who came out, he was so peaceful. He was so nice. He didn't envy Indra, but Indra envied him. Indra saw him as a competitor, saw him as an enemy. So this was the appearance of Vritrasur. That is the section I've been offered. So Vritrasur appears. Of course, he has a past history. We'll come to that in a bit. Vritrasur appears from that fire, and immediately it's seen. His descriptions have been, his bodily appearance has been described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He is really huge, gigantic, humongous form, and he has fireballs coming from his eyes when he's fighting in chivalrous mood. And he's so strong that he can eat soldiers for breakfast. That's how he's been described. Very, very, very powerful, very huge and strong, powerful demon. And Indra, with all the demigods, they're trying to attack Vritrasur, but all in vain. So finally, with all the demigods, Indra, headed by all the demigods, they offer prayers to Vishnu for help. So this is interesting. We see the demigods taking shelter of Vishnu or Krishna for help. I want to draw a parallel here between the 6th canto and the 8th canto. Just think about it. Let's have a simultaneous parallel discussion for a couple of minutes between Vritrasur and Gajendra. 6th canto, we have Vritrasur. 8th canto, we have Gajendra. It's interesting. Both of them are very huge, very strong, very powerful, almost like kings in their own place. Not just that, secondly, both of them have a past history. Our Vritrasur in his past life was a king by the name Chitraketu. Chitraketu, you can read in the Bhagavatam, but it just so happens that by mysterious, inconceivable flow of events in his life, he leaves his kingdom and goes into the forest, performs meditation, gets liberated. He's on his way getting liberated back to Vaikuntha. There he sees Lord Shiva speaking Bhagavatam class with Mother Parvati on his lap. He's keeping Mother Parvati on his lap and speaking Bhagavatam. And Chitraketu, as he's getting liberated, he looks at Lord Shiva, and it's almost like a friendly joke. He's laughing, he's cutting jokes, and he tells Lord Shiva, well, you are the supremely powerful, renowned sense controller that I know. But it's interesting that you're sitting and giving class on the Vyasasan with your wife Parvati on your lap. And it's okay if you do that, but you're doing it in front of sages who are all renounced. And the most interesting thing is the class you're giving on, the topic is Vairagya or renunciation. So it's interesting how you manage it. That's how he cuts a subtle joke. And Lord Shiva smiles and he laughs. But Mother Parvati takes on his case. She thinks, what do you think? What do you think? You are so proud that you're getting liberated. I curse you. May you become a demon. And Chitraketu Maharaj looks at Mother Parvati and he says, Mother, I have no problem if Shiva does it. But my only concern is he's one of the Mahajans. So people will follow his example and it'll be disastrous. You know, Lord Shiva can drink poison. Nobody can drink poison. So they try to imitate Lord Shiva's actions. They'll be doomed. But by then the curse is pronounced. And Chitraketu agrees. He falls at the feet of Mother Parvati and he says, Mother, if that is what you think will purify me, I will take it. And Lord Shiva says, Narayana para sarve na kutaschana bibhyati swarga apavarga narakeshu apitulyartha darshana. That this is the greatness of pure devotees like Chitraketu. Whether they are going back home, back to Godhead, whether they are on this earth or whether they are going to hell, they are so surrendered to Sri Vishnu that the place doesn't matter. They are welcoming reversals in life. This is the theme. Same thing goes on with Gajendra in his past life. So Chitraketu after this curse becomes Vritrasur in this story. So he becomes a demon because of the curse of Mother Parvati. But because he has been a very exalted devotee from past life, and because he did not intend to criticize or make fun of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva didn't take it either. So it was Mother Parvati was like the third person out there. The person speaking didn't mean it. The person listening didn't take it. So it wasn't an offense. Prabhupada writes it in the purport. Chitraketu Maharaj did not offend. He didn't intend to. Lord Shiva did not take it like that. But Mother Parvati spun in a reversal in Chitraketu Maharaj's life. He became Vritrasur, born from the sacrifice of Twashta, whom Indra is attacking. In the 8th canto, we see a similar situation. King Indradyumna, very exalted king, goes into the forest performing his bhajan like Chitraketu. But inconceivable change of events, sudden turn of events, sudden reversal in life. King Indradyumna is sitting and worshipping his deity in the forest. And Agastya Muni comes there with 60,000 disciples. King Indradyumna is so busy worshipping the deity that he doesn't notice Agastya. Agastya Muni thinks, oh, you're so proud that you're a devotee. You have not learnt any etiquette. You don't know when a Vaishnava comes, you should leave your deity worship and welcome him. You're so dull-headed. You're sitting there and worshipping the deity. You can see Krishna only in the deity, but not in the devotees. I curse you. You become a dull-headed elephant. Hare Krishna. So King Indradyumna now, after worshipping the deity in the middle of the forest, imagine, he's having matted locks. Shukdev Goswami says he's detached, he's austere in his speech, he's self-controlled, he lives in seclusion, so no Vaishnava aparad. But there Agastya comes. There's a reversal thrown in life. And Agastya Muni also is not to be taken as a bad person here. Why? Because Shukdev Goswami calls him as Mahayasha, the very famous Agastya. And also after the curse is pronounced in the 8th canto, Shukdev Goswami calls Agastya as Bhagavan, who's as pure as the Supreme Lord. So why did Mother Parvati curse Chitraketu there? And why did Agastya curse King Indradyumna here? It's the inconceivable sweet will of the Lord to spin in a reversal in life, only to show the world how pure devotees take reversals with the attitude of gratitude. It's almost like this. When we are diseased and we need medicines to be cured of our disease, and we have to, let's say the medicines cost about a few $1,000s, let's say every month, let's say $2,000 every month. There's medicines that we have to take, and we take that for 5 years. Just imagine, there's no surgery, we just have to pop in pills, and it takes about $2,000 a month. So that's about $25,000 a year, and we do that for about 5 years. Just think about it. Over $100,000 spent for our medicines. This is 5 years. On the other hand, if there is a surgeon who says, I'll just perform a surgery, a 3-hour surgery on you, and I'll just take about $50,000, half of what you're spending. It's going to be just a 3-hour surgery. I'm just going to take half the money, but it's going to be painful. What are we going to pick? Are we going to pick popping in the pills, $2,000 a month for 5 years where there's no pain? Or are we going to go the fast route of going through the hands of a surgeon who can perform a surgery, slit our body and do the needful in half the cost in 3 hours of surgery, but it's going to be very painful? I'll let you decide what you're going to pick. But most of us, somehow we run away from pain. So we are okay with 5 years popping into $2,000 a month. But Krishna doesn't work like that. Krishna looks like the GPS, the fastest route possible to reach the destination. So when a living being is sincere, Krishna takes the fast route. And he sees what could be the fastest way by which I can purify him and bring him back to me. I don't want to waste time. I want to bring him to me. I want to set an example to the world through him how to accept reversals. So we see King Indradyumna becomes Gajendra. Chitraketu becomes Vritrasur. Both are huge. Gajendra is huge and strong. Vritrasur is huge and strong. Both were devotees in past life. Both have a curse to follow, and they come into these lives as demon devotees. Why Gajendra demon devotee also? Because he forgets Krishna and he's just enjoying the Trikuta mountain. It only happens when Vritrasur is shot with the thunderbolt of Indra and the crocodile catches hold of Gajendra that their past remembrance is invoked. So it's a very, very interesting parallel that the Bhagavatam is drawing. We have Chitraketu, an illustrious king, worshipping Krishna, gets cursed by Mother Parvati to become Vritrasur. King Indradyumna, illustrious king, worshipping the Supreme Lord, gets cursed by Agastya to become Gajendra, the elephant. So both have past history, both get cursed, both have huge, strong, powerful forms, and both are in forgetfulness of Krishna. But when Indra is shooting thunderbolts at Vritrasur, and when the crocodile is chewing into the flesh of Gajendra through his mighty jaws, that's when the past remembrance, the past memory of devotion gets invoked. So that's why the term demon devotee for Vritrasur. Also, we see here, it's interesting, when they're challenged, whether it's Vritrasur or whether it's Gajendra. When Gajendra is caught by the crocodile, Vritrasur is attacked by Indra. That's when the prayers are coming out. We see Vritrasur chants the 4 seed verses, one of which we chanted, Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Khaga. So Canto 6, chapter 11, text 24, 25, 26, 27 are like the 4 seed verses of the 6th canto, which Kaustubha Prabhu will present in his section, so I wouldn't touch that. But these 4 verses are coming from the lotus lips of Vritrasur when he's attacked. He's offering obeisances and chanting. Gajendra, caught by the crocodile, chanting these prayers, 28 verses of the 3rd chapter of the 8th canto. He's offering prayers and offering obeisances. And interestingly, for both of them, the Supreme Lord reciprocates. So it's by prayers, by offering obeisances with sincere qualitative call, that the Supreme Lord reciprocates. It's such a beautiful parallel. So therefore it teaches us that when we see reversals in life, we should accept it like King Indradyumna did. We should accept it like Chitraketu did. We can be put in different circumstances in life, but Krishna is only and only doing it for our good. He can never, the sun can rise and it can do anything and everything, but the sun cannot do one thing. It cannot create darkness in its presence. Similarly, Krishna can do everything, but he cannot do one thing. He cannot do anything inauspicious for the jiva. Whatever Krishna does is only auspicious, whether or not we are able to perceive it. One time His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was asked at Radha Gopinath temple, Maharaj, sometimes it happens that devotees shout at us for things that we have not done. Sometimes we are not responsible and people shout at us. We get criticized, we get, chastised for something that we have not done. How do we see it? Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj said, well, sometimes we get chastised and criticized for things that we have not done, because in the past, there have been times when we have been glorified at situations when we don't deserve it. When we have been glorified in the past for things that we don't deserve. Krishna nullifies it by giving us chastisement when we don't deserve it, because he's our only well-wishing friend. Suhridam sarva bhutanam gatir bharta prabhuhu sakshi nivasa sharanam suhrid prabhava pralaya sthanam nidhanam bijam avyayam. 18th verse of the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you have no other well-wishing superior as me. I'm your friend, I'm your mother, I'm your father, I'm your superior, I'm your well-wishing maintainer. So when we have that faith, we can understand. Sometimes it's possible that we are in a room and we are having a glass in our hand, and suddenly we are with another devotee. We are having it in our hand. The devotee also has it in his hand. And suddenly the glass that we're drinking from, the water we're drinking from a glass, that falls down and breaks to pieces. And the person from the neighboring, we keep our glass down to kind of clear and collect the pieces. This devotee who has dropped it, he leaves, and we are cleaning it, and a devotee from the neighboring room comes and says, how many times I tell you, irresponsible fellow, you can't hold your glass properly. You can't take care of your glass properly. I said, Prabhu, no, please don't blast. It's not me, it's the other. Don't give excuses. You always justify. Like, Prabhu, it's not me. The person who dropped it, he's not here. He just went, and this is my glass. No, that's his glass. You dropped yours. You tell me, what can you do? You just bite down the bullet, thinking that there were times when I was glorified and appreciated for things that I didn't deserve. So Krishna's just trying to give me this reversal so that I can know that he's performing that 3-hour surgery on me to make the fastest path so that I can go back to him. So in this way, this is the scene where Indra here now he sees Vritrasur, and with all the other demigod friends, they go to Vishnu. This is also a commonality that we see in Gajendra. When Gajendra is calling out for help, so all the demigods start hovering over Gajendra. And they're almost like, you can call us, we can help you. Why trouble Vishnu for it? We'll help you, and we'll become immortal in the pages of the Bhagavatam by helping you. And Gajendra is like, no, I want Vishnu. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, at that time the demigods were thinking, Duraradhyasya tasya swabhavam vayam janima eva atah grahagrasta marishyati eva durabhimanena audasinyam sada vyanjanayamasa tada avirasit iti. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the Sanskrit commentary, he's saying that in the section of Gajendra, the demigods were saying to each other, do you know Vishnu is a very difficult person to invite? Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, they are called Ashutosh. They will be pleased quickly. But Vishnu is not an easy person to impress. He's not going to come. He's not going to come early. And Ata Grahagrasta Marishyati Eva Durabhimanena. This Gajendra could have realized that we are there to help him. But because of his pride, he's not inviting us. He's calling out to that Vishnu. I'm pretty sure he's going to die, but Vishnu is not going to come. They're talking to each other. Vishwanath Chakravarti is writing. Demigods are speaking to each other. You know, Vishnu is a tough person to invite. He's not going to come for an elephant. How many times in the National Geographic we have seen elephants being caught by crocodiles? Vishnu doesn't come on the back of Garuda every time. So he's a difficult person to impress. Well, we are the easy ones. We are the closest ones. We can help him. But Dura Abhimanena, this Gajendra is very proud. He doesn't want to take help from us. Therefore, Atha Marishyati, this elephant is going to die for sure without Vishnu's help. And Audasinyam Sada Venjayamasa. Vishnu, even if he's impressed, he takes a long time to come. So he's not going to reach. And as they were talking like this, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Tada Vishnu Avirasit. Vishnu appeared there on the back of Garuda. And when he appeared there, the demigods put their head down in shame. That all glories to the merciful nature of Vishnu, that he comes when an elephant calls him. And all glories to the merciful, the qualitative, prayerful call of Gajendra, that he's invoking the Supreme Lord to come to him. Therefore, now the demigods being completely dejected and completely finished, all their arguments are finished. They go to glorify Vishnu, saying, we are really sorry. Initially, we wanted Gajendra to invite us to help him. And we were a little offensive. We were a little upset of the fact that he's inviting you and not us. But now we're getting upset of the fact that we were upset then. We realize, my Lord, you are there for everyone. Therefore, please accept our obeisances. The demigods in that section, they say, Sa Atma Angani As Anya Devataha. The commentary says that the demigods understood that we are all insignificant limbs in the body of Vishnu. Therefore, as much as Gajendra needs Vishnu during his time of crisis, we also need Vishnu during our time of crisis. Therefore, now Indra and all the demigods, they go to Vishnu at the time of their crisis. When Vritrasur is being attacked by Indra and other demigods, and he's just tearing all this to pieces. They're not able to fight him. They go to Vishnu. And the Bhagavatam describes, in this section it describes that they start glorifying the Supreme Lord Sri Vishnu through choicest prayers. Here is an interesting point. Prayers never go unanswered. Whoever may be, whichever language it may be, depending on the sincerity and the intensity of our prayers, we should offer sincere prayers, and Krishna or Vishnu will listen to those prayers. There are tons of prayers written in the Srimad Bhagavatam. For example, first canto, chapter 8, we have the prayers of Queen Kunti. Canto 1, chapter 9, we have the prayers of Bhishma Dev. Canto 2, we have Canto 2, chapter 9, the 4 seed verses of the Bhagavatam. Canto 3, chapter 31, we have the prayers of the child in the womb. Canto 4, chapter 9, we have the prayers of Dhruva. Canto 4, chapter 24, we have the prayers called as the Rudra Geet, that Lord Shiva benedicts the Prachetas, the sons of Prachina Barhi. Canto 5, Very, very beautiful set. We see the discussion between Rishabdev Maharaj and his 100 sons, headed by Bharat Maharaj. There are many beautiful instructive verses. Canto 6, we see chapter 2 and 3. There are instructive prayers and glories of the holy name in the context of Ajamil. Canto 6, chapter 11, text 24, 25, 26, 27, the 4 prayers of Vritrasur. Canto 7, we see chapter 6, the teachings of Prahlad. Canto chapter 9, the prayers of Prahlad to Narasimhadev. Very, very beautiful section. Canto 7, chapter 9, prayers of Prahlad to Narasimhadev. Very beautiful. The effect of those prayers are Narasimhadev, who was thirsty for more blood after killing Hiranyakashipu. No demigod could go close to him, not even Lakshmi Devi. But 5-year-old Prahlad could go there and chant the 9th chapter of the 7th canto and pacify Narasimhadev. 8th canto, chapter 3, text 2 to 29, the prayers of Gajendra. Even in the 9th canto, we have prayers. Now let's come to the 10th canto. Canto 10, chapter 2, we have the prayers of the demigods, offering prayers to the womb of Devaki when Krishna is in the womb. We have canto 10, chapter 10, text 38, which stands out as the prayer of Mani Griva and Nalakuvera, the 2 trees who get delivered by Damodar. Canto 10, chapter 14, we have the prayers of Brahma. Canto 10, chapter 16, text 33 to 53, the prayers of the wives of Kaliya. Canto 10, chapter 21, the flute sound of Krishna, Venugit. Canto 10, chapter 31, Gopi Geet. Canto 10, chapter 47, Brahmar Geet. Canto 10, chapter 35, Yugal Geet. In this way, so many prayers. Let's come to Canto 10, chapter 52, text 37, onwards 7 prayers, the prayers of Rukmini. And in this way, the whole Bhagavatam, if you have a cross-section of the Bhagavatam, it's only prayers. And oftentimes we skip chapters with prayers. Oh, every devotee is saying the same thing. My Lord, you're the supreme, you're the unborn, there's no one like you, you're the cause of all creations, you're the maintainer, destroyer, annihilator of everything. My Lord, I offer my obeisances. Actually, it's not true. There are varieties that are presented. If you read very carefully, we'll see the specific particular mood in that circumstance is what is presented. So therefore, offering prayers from the Bhagavatam is a very, very interesting, sure-shot way of making advancement. We don't have to do anything. Think about it. 9 limbs of bhakti. Hearing about Krishna. We see people hearing about Krishna and dozing off, like maybe some of you now, I don't know, because your cameras are closed, so I can't see. You shut down your cameras. But maybe some of you are like, oh my God, when is the summary going to stop? That happens in Shravanam. When we hear about Krishna, sometimes we doze off. And Kirtan, maybe not in Kirtan, but Japa, oh, definitely. I doze off in Japa. Smaranam, forget it. We try to think about Krishna and then in no time we're thinking about what we ate yesterday. You know, it always comes back to prasadam. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, 3 are gone. Pada Sevanam, which means to worship Krishna through our feet in the form of parikrama. But where will we go for Vrindavan parikrama and Govardhan parikrama here? We are in lockdown now. How do we do Pada Sevanam? Archanam, deity worship. Oh, actual deity worship is so detailed. We need Brahmamurtha Prabhu again to come here and teach us all the mudras. We don't know Archanam. That is the 5th limb of bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam is the 6th. Prayers. Let's put that on a hold. 7th, Dasyam, to become a servant of Krishna. We're trying, but somehow being the master tastes sweeter than honey in our consciousness. And then being a friend to Krishna, very lofty, Atma Nivedanam, forget it, to surrender completely. So out of these 9 limbs, 1 limb of bhakti that we all can employ from today. If we haven't been, if we have been, we can continue. If we haven't been, we can employ. And that is to offer prayers. Vandanam. Vandanam means to offer prayers, and Bandhanam with a B means bondage. So the sure shot way of getting free from Bandhanam is offering Vandanam, prayers. You see, by offering prayers, there are many advantages. 1, we don't have to mix any of our ulterior agendas because these are not our words. Sometimes when we pray to Krishna, Our prayers are very temporary, like a person who's in a well. Just think about it. There's a person in a well who's saying, oh, I'm feeling very cold. I am feeling very cold. Please, someone help me. I am feeling cold. He's in a deep, dark well. So some merciful person, he put in a ladder inside so that he can climb up the ranks of the ladder and come out. But look at this person in that dark well. What is he doing? He's cutting the different ranks of that ladder and making a bonfire inside and feeling warm. Oh, wonderful. This merciful person threw in a ladder, so now I can comfort myself. This is our situation. Krishna throws in ladders so that we make advancement. And we are trying to make a temporary use of it. So we ask Krishna for temporary things. Our prayers at the present moment are not pure. So by offering prayers of pure devotees in the Bhagavatam, like the prayers now, the demigods are offering Vishnu. They are glorifying Krishna in this section that we see. In fact, going through every verse is tough in the time span that we have. Therefore, I'm just doing an overview of the importance of prayers. Demigods here are offering prayers to Vishnu to help them during the battle with Tvashta, the battle with Vritrasur. And they're saying some very beautiful, wonderful points. And the reason Shukdev Goswami has placed it in the Bhagavatam and not edited it out, because it's of paramount importance. Shukdev Goswami did not tell Parikshit Maharaj, well, wait a minute, you have only 7 days. Dhruva, Prahlad, Vritrasur, Gajendra, Rukmini, they all offered prayers. Next, let's change the subject matter and go ahead. He didn't do that. He repeated all of their prayers, although Parikshit Maharaj had only 7 days. He includes these prayers for us so that we can chant them. So one, we don't know what to ask Krishna and how to take advantage of the circumstance. But if you repeat the prayers in the Bhagavatam, they are pure words spoken by empowered personalities and streamed down and given to us by Shukdev Goswami. So that's one. Second, Krishna gives us the benefit and gives us mercy because we, by chanting those prayers, remind Krishna of those pure devotees. When we chant the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj to Nrsimhadev, for example, they are not our words, they're Prahlad's words. And Prahlad being a pure devotee, his words are also pure. He's asking for the purest benediction and boon and fulfillment of the purest desire. So we don't have to complicate. One, we just repeat his words. Two, when we chant the prayers of Prahlad to Nrsimhadev, Nrsimhadev is happy that we are reminding him of Prahlad. So we get the mercy of Nrsimhadev for being the instrument to remind the Supreme Lord of Prahlad. Two, and also Prahlad showers us mercy because we are trying to follow in his footsteps. And three, that is the ultimate fulfillment of bhakti, to offer prayers. Everyone offered prayers. Even the Chaitanya Charitamrita devotees offer prayers. Arjuna offers prayers in the Bhagavad Gita. That's how the Bhagavad Gita begins in the first place. He surrenders himself and says, Krishna, I don't know anything. Please help me. Right? So in this way, by singing the songs of Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Bengali, and saying these prayers of the Bhagavatam in Sanskrit, we are making spiritual advancement. Now someone will ask this question, but Prabhu, I can't remember these verses. The answer is, you don't have to. Krishna is not looking for an erudite scholar with an IQ level of, 180 or whatever. He's not looking for someone who's a PhD in the head. Krishna is looking for someone who's sincere in his heart. Pick up the book, sit there, you can just read it. If Sanskrit is difficult, just read the English, express your heart. And even better, the icing on the cake would be, personalize these prayers. Personalize the songs. If Bhaktivinoda Thakur, for example, is writing a song where he says, I have wasted my life. Like, for example, I'll just give you a classic example. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Vidyar Gaurave Brahmi Deshe Deshe Dhana Upajana Kori Nabhadiya Tore Dina Britha Gelo Bhulino Tumare Hari Bhulino Tumare Hari. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, my Lord, just for making some money, Vidyara Gaurave Brahmi Deshe Deshe Dhana Upajana Kore. I studied, built up my resume, went end to end for a job to make some money, And as I wasted time making money, my Lord, I forgot you. Now, this is a simple statement. We can sing it, we can speak it, but it's good to think and ponder. What were the instances in my life where I think I could have avoided and performed more bhakti? Where do I think I could have improved in life? So when you introspect on the words, the songs of the acharyas, the prayers of the Bhagavatam, that's how bhakti, the seed of bhakti, sprouts. So here we see Indra in text 26 and 27. He offers prayers to Vishnu along with the demigods, and they make this point that you in your Dashavatar incarnations, you are coming. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna is saying, I come for the demigod, I come for the devotees, I destroy the demons and I establish dharma. But the interesting thing is the heart of heart, the actual reason why Krishna comes is given in the Bhagavatam. We find in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 33, text 36. Krishna says, Shukdev Goswami says, Anugrahaya bhaktana manusham deham astitaha. Bhajate tadrishi krida yashrutva tatparo bhavet. The only reason why the Supreme Lord comes is to have loving reciprocations with his devotees. So when Indra is offering these prayers, in text 28, we see in this section of chapter 9, Canto 6, that the Supreme Lord appears. And he's appearing, and it is described that he first appears in the heart and then he appears outside. This is what the translation describes. So we see other examples of this phenomena also. When Brahma comes to pray in the Shweta Dweep, in the start of the 10th canto, he comes to the house of the Supreme Lord and he prays. The Supreme Lord does not come out. He gives darshan in the heart. That is how the Supreme Lord gives darshan. He doesn't come and give darshan in person. He gives darshan, he gives revelation, he appears in the heart. So for Brahma in the 10th canto, start of 10th canto, when he was praying, when Mother Earth went in the form of a cow for help, Brahma went to Vishnu and the Supreme Lord appeared in the heart. One. Second example, in the 4th canto, we see Dhruva Maharaj. When he's meditating, the Supreme Lord first appeared in the heart. Even in the Damodara Ashtaka, Varam deva moksham na mokshavadim va nachanyam vrineham varesadapeha idam teva punatha gopala balam sada me manasyavir astham kimanye. My Lord, please appear in my heart, is what Satyavrat Muni says. Sada me manasi, manasi means heart. Sada me manasi avir, avir means appearance, avir bhav. Astham ki manye, if you can appear in my heart, what other desire do I have? Next verse also. Idam te mukham bhojam atyanta niler vritam kuntale snigdha raktaishcha gopya muhushchumbitam bimba raktadaram me Manasyavirastham alam lakshalabhi. Manasyavir, again appear in my heart. Two back-to-back verses in the Damodara Ashtaka, my Lord, appear in my heart. Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. Krishna appears in the heart. So here it is described that Krishna appeared in the heart first, Vishnu appeared for the demigods, and then he appeared outside. Look at Madhavendra Puri's glory. The thing topples the other way in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Madhavendra Puri, when he was sitting and chanting at Govinda Kund in Govardhan, the Supreme Lord first comes outside as a child giving the pot of milk, and then comes in the dream and tells him, please remove me, I am stuck in the form of a deity. Please excavate and install me as a temple, as a deity in the temple. So for Dhruva Maharaj, for Brahma, and here for the demigods, the Lord is appearing first in the heart and then outside. But in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Lord is first appearing outside for Madhavendra Puri and then appearing inside as the dream. After that, we see from text 29 to text 35, the last section of this discussion here, we see that all the demigods are again offering prayers. Initially, they start offering prayers and the Lord appears being bound by their prayers. And now when the Lord is appeared, he has already appeared, they again have second set of prayers that they offer. So it shows us the importance of prayers. So one of the questions in the agenda list that Karuna Gauranga Prabhu sent was, if everything is predestined, why do we have to pray? And if we pray, what does Krishna actually protect? Does he protect the body, or what does Krishna actually protect? So I want to wrap up with that discussion. Because all these prayers, if you see, they glorify the Supreme Lord and offering obeisances. So these two things are common. Indra with all the demigods, from text 29 to 35 here we see in the final set of these prayers that they're calling out to the Supreme Lord, O omnipotent, O omniscient, O omnipresent, O creator of all creators, O maintainer, O destroyer, O everlasting unborn Supreme Lord. So they're calling out different qualities, one, and second, namaste, namaste, I bow down to you, I bow down to you. So these two things attract the Supreme Lord. What are the two things? Chanting his holy names and offering obeisances. This is why the last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam says, Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamanastam Namami Harim Param. You don't have to do anything in bhakti. Just do two things. Nam, which means holy name. Pranam, which means offering obeisances. Nam and Pranam. Chant the holy name and offer obeisances. So the demigods do that. And as the Supreme Lord is appearing, they still continue to do that. So what is it that the Supreme Lord actually protects through these prayers? Why do we have to pray? Again, we got to get back to Gajendra to answer this question. We see the crocodile and Gajendra. Crocodile in his past life was a Gandharva. Gajendra in his past life was a devotee. When Gajendra is liberated, he goes back home, back to Godhead. But when the crocodile is delivered from the crocodile body, he becomes a Gandharva back again and goes to the Gandharva Loka. Doesn't go back to Vaikuntha. Why? Because Gajendra offered prayers and the crocodile did not offer prayers. So if we let the stream of past karmic reactions move, then it will go a certain direction of gradual purification. But when we offer prayers, Krishna understands that we are interested in taking the HOV lane. We are ready to take the high-speed surgery process, where Krishna, I don't know what is good for me. You take charge, like Arjuna. Krishna, you take charge of the chariot of my life and you help me. I don't know anything. When we don't offer prayers, according to past karma, everything moves slowly but surely. Maybe 700 lifetimes from now on, we go there. But when we vocalize our thoughts, it's a personal feeling in a relationship. It's not like saying, hey, well, you know that I love you, so I don't have to say it. Well, I know you love me, but I feel nice when you say it, right? So when Krishna knows what's good for us, but when we speak out, vocalize our thoughts in line with Shastra, Krishna sees that we are expressing our sincerity. So Gajendra offered prayers. Therefore, he became a Vishnuduta. But the crocodile in his mouth had the feet and he was just chewing. He didn't offer any prayers either in the heart or not through words. Therefore, he was happy to become Gandharva and go back to the temporary Gandharva heavenly planet. So this is what happens when we offer prayers. So what does Krishna protect ultimately? Krishna protects in one way. The strongest and the easiest thing to understand as far as Krishna's protection is concerned is Krishna protects us by invoking his remembrance. This is what is Krishna's protection. Sometimes the body may be destroyed also. Like Haridas Thakur, for example, he was whipped through the streets. We could say, well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him from the back, so the whip marks were on Mahaprabhu's back. That is one way of understanding. But we also did see Haridas Thakur's body was bleeding. So what did Krishna actually protect? Krishna protected the remembrance of Haridas Thakur. Sometimes life kicks us in such a way that we forget Krishna. Think about it. If situations are happy and we remember Krishna, amazing. That's the perfect situation. If situations are happy and we forget Krishna, oh, that is suffering. If situations are suffering and we remember Krishna, oh, that's glorious, like Queen Kunti. But imagine if situations are suffering and we forget Krishna, oh, that's miserable. So how Krishna protects a devotee is by invoking remembrance. And this is exactly what happened in the life of Vritrasur. Vritrasur fights Indra till his end. But because he was Chitraketu in his past life, Krishna protects him by invoking remembrance, and Vritrasur, being in a demoniac form, is offering prayers. This is what Krishna did to Gajendra. When was the last time we saw an elephant chant prayers in Sanskrit and the Supreme Lord comes on the back of Garuda? It's like a set of impossibility. But how did he protect the elephant? He may not have protected the feet of elephant because Gajendra was bleeding. But he protected the elephant by rekindling the fire of remembrance of past activity. So what Krishna, the way Krishna protects us is that he helps us remember him and not forget him, so that we are focused on our goal. If tests are coming in our life and we remember Krishna, we are passing those tests. And if tests are coming in our life and we forget Krishna, we didn't even recognize that it was a test. We have to give that same test all over again. So therefore, Srila Radhanath Maharaj says, we are not afraid of death. We are afraid of forgetting Krishna one more time at death. Because we have died so many times, so many bodies. But if we can remember Krishna once, we will not get into another mother's womb. But if we forget Krishna at the time of death, another birth. So actual protection that comes in is Krishna protects our remembrance, invokes our past bhakti. Gajendra in his past life as King Indradyumna chanted prayers to his deity. He forgot and became an elephant. But the deity remembered all these prayers and invoked those prayers as Paramatma. This was the protection. So therefore, nothing in Krishna consciousness goes a waste. So therefore, this is the proper way to understand. The only protection we want from Krishna is, Krishna, please bless me that I never forget you. So in this way, up to text 35, this has been the theme of the verses that I have been offered. We have, it's about 12:20 Eastern time. It's about 12:20 Eastern time here. So I give the call back to Karuna Gauranga Prabhu, so that if devotees want to interact and ask questions and have discussions, it'll be very nice to open the floor for that. I don't know how many of your questions I'll be able to answer. You know, is there someone who wants to interact on a?
Yeah, there is a question on the chat, Amarendra Prabhu. First of all, thank you. Amazing. You left us with this beautiful sutra. Vandanam leads to freedom from bandhanam. Beautiful thread and flow. Without saying anything further, there's one question which has come here by Sham Prayasi Mataji. She's asking, out of all the prayers in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which one can we focus and recite on a daily basis? Is there Nityanusandanam prayers which can be recited daily? Of course, after our prescribed Mahamantra rounds. Thank you. And I will also allow the unmuting now if in case devotees want to interact, but please keep your mics on mute when not in use. Thank you.
So I asked this question to my spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Ashtotara Shatashri Srimad Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj. I asked the same question, Maharaj, of all the prayers in the Bhagavatam, which prayer would you advise me to chant every day? And before I could even complete the question, Srila Guru Maharaj said the prayers of Gajendra. And he said so interestingly, he said that all situations in life are like crocodiles. They're crocodile jaws. And you see, the jaw of the crocodile is such that one side, you can imagine it like this. We're all like Gajendras, and we are in the jaws of the crocodile of time factor. So sometimes situations are so pressing and so depressing and so irritating and agitating and provoking that we are convinced we are in the jaws of the crocodile. But sometimes it so happens that we feel everything's going good. I have no problem. So that's the other end of the jaw of the crocodile with blunt teeth. So we don't feel the chewing. So on one side, the crocodile of time has sharp teeth. And when he's chewing us from that side, we feel, oh, it's unbearable. I can't take this situation anymore. And when he starts chewing us from this side with blunt, flat teeth, we feel, oh, everything is going good. I don't think I have any problem, right? So in this way, either way, whether it's happy situation or sad situation, we are in the jaws of the crocodile of time factor. Therefore, in the mood of Gajendra, if we can call out, we will have success results. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj jokes and he says the best place to chant the Gajendra Stuti prayers is in the bathroom, because Gajendra got the Supreme Lord while being in water. so in this way, we can chant them every day. Prabhupada, in his purports to the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he mentions that we can chant Narasimha prayers and Brahma Samhita, Chintamani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Vriksha, apart from Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Prabhupada suggests these two every day, and my spiritual master suggested Gajendra Stuti from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is why, very specifically during this pandemic lockdown, through ISKCON Atlanta, we had a 45-session series on the prayers of Gajendra, because this corona situation is like the jaws of the crocodile, and we are like Gajendra stuck there. So may Krishna have some mercy and help us in all ways possible. So that's my limited understanding.
Thank you, Amarendra Prabhu. There's one more question, and you are already, I think, on that flow there. How can we consider this pandemic from a spiritual viewpoint? And there's one more about if a husband leaves a good wife because of lusty desires, could that be Krishna's protection of the husband?
As far as the husband and wife question is concerned, I'll let that question be handled by a grihastha who knows the devotee, so that there is sensitivity maintained. I don't know what the circumstances are, so I don't want to give a theoretical, insensitive, abstract response to that. So someone who knows the devotee really well, who can sit with the devotee and share if there's a real circumstance, that'll be encouraged. I'll give the question to some senior grihastha on that. But as far as seeing the corona situation from a spiritual perspective, I think there are multiple take-homes. First and foremost, we have it's been 100 years since we have had the last pandemic. Every 100 years, we are seeing the world is facing a lockdown situation. 1820, we had a pandemic. 1920, we had a pandemic. Now 2020, we have a pandemic. And it's good reminder that Mother Nature is giving us once a century, because we are living lives in a very materialistic way. For entertainment, we depend on sports like bullfight, where we are seeing torture inflicted on animals, and that's the source of pleasure for us. For food, we are seeing that the taste, the taste of the tongue for one breakfast is valued more than the life of a living species altogether. It's chopped down brutally for us, for temporary sense pleasure, and it's a whole industry, a whole slaughter industry. So for eating, we depend on animals. For entertainment, we depend on animals. And then what to speak of clothing? The leather industry is flourishing, whether it's shoes, whether it's handbags, whether it's belts, whether we're talking about wallets, we're talking about the car seats, we're talking about couches, for jackets. So whatever it may be, we're seeing that we are exploiting, we are throwing in the Mother Nature is pure and clean. We are polluting the earth, we are polluting the water, we are polluting the air. But now in this lockdown situation, think about it. The birds are coming out, the animals are coming out. Even Yamuna in Vrindavan is flowing and looks beautiful. Lack of honking of horns and crowd. And so many things in so many ways we have polluted Mother Nature. So it's interesting that we realize that we are running very fast without realizing the direction in which we are running. So it's good to pause and think that Krishna has given the situation for us so that we think on multiple levels of introspection. Spiritually speaking, it's the time that we will never again get in our life. We would have never imagined the American economy to be shut down like this. Companies filing bankruptcy, We are hearing CEOs of multinational companies getting heart attacks. Pay, the salary, the pay is getting cut, 20%, 30% down to in so many companies for so many employees. So I think this situation spiritually is very beneficial for going deeper. Families have been so distant from each other, sitting in the same house, living in different rooms, stuck to their device and the screen activity. Now is the time they are forced to see each other's face, so to speak. We could have escaped our spouse, we could have escaped our children by running into the workspace, but now we have to be at home, and people are realizing that they're realizing how much, or at least let's say we hope they realize that families can be a gift, families can be a benediction by the Supreme Lord, that we are trying to neglect. In the pursuit of just making more and more money, we are neglecting the good fortune that God has given us. So spiritually, this is the time to chant more, read more, hear more, put our sleeping pattern on schedule, eating pattern on schedule. We can work, exercise, and do so many things. So I almost have like this 4-letter formula during the lockdown that His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu told me. It's JBSS, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Sudarshan. What does that mean? J stands for Japa and Gayatri, 3 times Gayatri. J also means Jala. Jala means water. We make sure that we drink enough water, we hydrate ourselves. So with the J, it's like a checklist during the lockdown situation. Even otherwise, but now very specifically. J refers to Japa, refers to our Gayatri Japa, our Sandhya, 3 Sandhyas, and J refers to Jalam, which means we drink enough water every day. With the B refers to Baladev. Baladev means Guru, which means we hear classes of our spiritual master. Baladev or Bala also means strength, which means we spend time exercising, running on the treadmill, doing push-ups and pull-ups and planks and scissors and abs and so many things that we can do. We can work on ourselves that we never got time for. That's the 2 points for the B. Then for S, we can remember S refers to Swadhyaya. If we can take some time out to read Srila Prabhupada's books, the books that have been on the shelf crying out for our attention, now is the time we take them out from there and give them some time. S also refers to Seva, which means helping our spouse at home. It could be things that we have not got time to do in the past. Sometimes, it could be cutting vegetables together. It could be cooking together. It could be cleaning together. So it's a very nice time to bond with our spouse, with our family by helping in the daily chores. And the final S of the Sudarshan S is if we can spend about 10-15 minutes as a family doing Sankirtan in front of our deities. So in this way, this lockdown situation could be, you can make the best use of the bad bargain. Materially, it might not be so good. Financially, it might not be good for many. But spiritually, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going.
Hare Krishna, Amarendra Prabhu, thank you so much for so much wisdom, yet I always find your classes super sweet. So much make us feel attracted to Krishna and his pastimes, and thank you for this beautiful thread of prayer and Vandanam. We had a few more questions. I think we are a little short of time. Thank you so much. Please do come again to speak on this platform and our Bhagavatam classes also. Thank you.
Thank you, Karuna Gauranga Prabhu, for having me. Thank you, Yashoda Dulal Prabhu. So nice to see you here. Thank you. Thank you. So wonderful to see you. And Venkatabat Prabhu, thank you for having me. And so many other wonderful devotees on the call. Please forgive me if I made mistakes. If I didn't present things properly, the superiors can kindly forgive me and even chastise me so that I can better next time. And if there was anything that inspired you, they are not my words. They are the words of eternity. They belong to ultimately to Krishna, but they come to us through our teachers. So they belong to them. It's like our parents, our teachers, they have stored and we are like the salesmen there. So the objects, the gadgets, the equipments, they belong to them. The laptops belong to them. The verses belong to them. The stories belong to them. And I'm simply a salesman telling you, well, in the 6th canto on that aisle, you have this. But in the 8th canto on this aisle, you have this. So if there were mistakes that the salesman did, please forgive me. But thank you for appreciating the store that our predecessor acharyas have painstakingly given us.
Thank you, Prabhu. There are numerous comments. I just made the chat private so that, but there are so many comments here thanking you, your inspiration, your enlightening classes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
On closing, we just like to say that we'll continue this Vritrasur series for the next 4 weeks. We have a new temple newsletter, the Bhakti Center newsletter. Daniel Prabhu has kindly put his energy, and many of you are already receiving it. On that, we're going to give all the updates for such classes and our temple Bhagavatams. And also many of you requested a recording of the class, which we will soon process, and we will communicate through the temple newsletter. So I'm just posting the subscription link. Y'all are most welcome to join the newsletter. This is different from the regular Bhakti Center newsletter, which has the updates for the yoga classes, the meditation classes, etc. This newsletter is specific to the temple activities as such, like the Bhagavatam, Seva opportunities, etc. Thank you so much.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.